Welcome to the Weekly Report. For Randall Riley, I'm Joshua Miller. Let's dive right in. This week in job board searches and clicks. Truck driver searches were down 10% week over week, 2% month over month, and 16% year over year. Meanwhile, clicks on truck driver postings were up 9% week over week, down 2% month over month, and up 5% year over year. We saw searches decrease, clicks increase, and click-through rates jump by 20% last week. All major experienced driver categories, that of company, owner-op, and teams, all saw increases in clicks week over week. It was only the inexperienced or trainee driver jobs that saw a decrease in clicks. This week in freight, load postings fell by 17% week over week, and as you may expect with a drop like that, load postings for all three major segments fell. Dry van was down 15%, refrigerated 16%, and flatbed dipped by 18% week over week. Truck availability was also on the decline. It fell by 9% week over week as the overall ratio of loads to trucks hit its lowest level since week 6. And not one to break the trend, overall spot rates fell by 8 cents per mile week over week. And unfortunately, that's all I have for you this week on spot rates. As of this taping, the details we normally provide for dry van, refrigerated, and flatbed rates are not yet available. But we should be back on track with all of that for next week's report. Now, there was a lot of red over there on that screen, but here are some things to keep in mind. The decline in load postings wasn't really a surprise here, as major holidays do tend to suppress the spot market's weekly volume. As it turns out, the decrease in volume for Independence Day week pretty much mirrored the amount of decline we observed for Memorial Day week. The recent downward trend for flatbed, however, does seem to suggest that the weakness we've seen in that lately might go a little bit deeper than the typical holiday distortions. It's something we'll be keeping our eye on here as we move forward. And as we touched on last week, June is traditionally the high water mark for volume for the year. But that didn't hold true in 2020. There was no real seasonality to speak of last year as lockdowns were lifting and the economy began to recover. This year, we must keep in mind that all those stimulus checks have gone out, and the most recent round of which hit around 3 months ago. Beyond that, we have supply chain disruptions, lagging capacity that continue to support volumes. And remember, there's yet more stimulus payments on the way, this time in the form of a monthly child tax credit payment. And those tax credits are scheduled to begin this week and set to continue right on through December. And now for our story of the week. The FMCSA is talking about making some safety changes. The currently enforced safety regulations require any mounted devices to be no more than 4 inches below the upper edge of the area swept by the windshield wipers, or not more than 7 inches above the lower edge of the swept area. In addition to that, all devices must remain outside the driver's sight lines to the road or to highway signs and signals. They are now proposing that allowable mounting area be expanded. The new proposal would increase that top mounting area allowable from 4 inches below that upper edge swept to 8.5 inches. All the other parameters such as sight lines and acceptable distance from the bottom edge, those would remain the same. In addition to the mounting guideline changes, the FMCSA is also proposing expanding the definition of vehicle safety technology. As it stands now, it is defined as, and I quote, a fleet-related incident management system, performance or behavior management system, speed management system, forward collision warning or mitigation system, active cruise control system, and transponder. If the proposed changes are adopted, the definition would also encompass technologies that are intended to promote driver, occupant, and roadway safety, including braking warning systems, braking assist systems, automatic emergency braking, driver camera systems, attention assist warning, and traffic sign recognition. And notice I say if here, and I say if because the agency wants your feedback on the proposed changes. You can make comments and let your voice be heard by heading on over to www.regulations.gov and searching for the docket number FMCSA-2021-0037. On there, you can make your comments. The FMCSA has specifically requested comments on the following 2 questions. Number 1, Does the definition of vehicle safety technology need to be expanded further to address other potential technologies and/or multifunction devices such as electronic logging devices that incorporate technologies like GPS that either require placement in the approximate middle of the CMV windshield or would benefit driver safety by not diverting the driver's eyes from the road and would be subject to the positioning requirements of the regulation? And number 2, would the proposed position of allowable vehicle safety technologies, not more than 8.5 inches below the upper and 7 inches above the lower edge of the swept area of the windshield, be sufficient for any current or developing devices? Wow, they really are good at making those questions succinct and effective, aren't they? Anyhow, those are the 2 questions that they are actively seeking feedback on. So let your voices be heard and let them know what you think. Again, that website is www.regulations.gov. The docket number is FMCSA-2021-0037. Link will be in the YouTube description or the body of the blog page. To keep up to date on what's happening, make sure you check out our friends over at the CCJ website. They've covered this information as well, and you'll be able to stay up to date with any new developments over there. And that's it for the story of the week. Thanks for joining us for another weekly report. But before I let you go, I do want to touch on a webinar viewing of the Digging Deeper Season 1 finale that will be airing tomorrow, Thursday, July 15th at 2 p.m. Central. The final episode of the season will feature Dave's top moments from the first season, and following the viewing, there will be a live Q&A panel featuring several of the guests that have joined him on the show. If that sounds like something you'd like to check out, all you have to do is register and then join the webinar tomorrow. This is a completely free webinar. Just register and click the link to join tomorrow. I'll leave that registration link for you in the YouTube description and the body of the blog as well. The episode will be made available a little later on both our YouTube page and our blog, but that live Q&A, that's a special treat only for those who attend the webinar viewing. So I encourage you to check it out and take advantage of the open forum. Ask any questions you may have and get a response in real time, right then and there. One final note on Digging Deeper, this is a video webinar. So if you do register and you're going to attend, when you click that link, make sure you're going from a laptop or a smartphone or a smart device with a screen. Dialing in to a video webinar just kind of defeats the whole purpose of a video, right? So there you go. Thursday, July 15th, 2 p.m. Central, Digging Deeper, Season 1 finale. Be there. And that's it for this week. We look forward to having you back next week on Wednesday morning to take another look back to help you move forward. Until then, have a great week, everybody.